persuasive messages. You need to plan, write, and complete persuasive messages. Step 1. Planning persuasive messages. You have to analyze the situation. To understand and categorize audience needs, you can refer to specific information such as demographics, which are age, gender, occupation, income, education, and other qualifiable characteristics of the people you are trying to persuade. Psychographics are personality, attitudes, lifestyle, and other psychological characteristics. If you aim to change someone's attitudes, beliefs, or actions through a persuasive message, it is vital to understand his or her motivation, combination of focus that drive people to satisfy their needs. Gather information. Once your situation analysis is complete, you need to gather the information necessary to create a compelling persuasive message. Selecting the right medium. Persuasive messages can be found in virtually every communication medium, from instant messages and podcasts to radio advertisements and skywriting. Persuasive messages are often unexpected and sometimes even unwelcome, so choose your medium carefully to maximize the chance of getting through your audience. Social media provides some existing options for persuasive messages, particularly marketing and sales messages, such as social media, email, and another important area of development is combining personal attention with technological reach and efficiency. For example, a customer support agent can carry on multiple instant messages conversations at once, responding to one customer while other customers are typing messages. Organizing your information. Organizing your information has both direct approach and indirect approach. In this approaches, they have audience focus, limited scope, which is the most important one in organizing information, audience reaction, and power and expertise. Step 2, writing persuasive messages. Using positive and polite language. Positive language is an essential feature of persuasive messages. 2, understanding and respecting cultural differences. Organizational culture can influence persuasion as much as social cultural does. 3, being sensitive to organizational culture differences. Audience often respond unfavorably to over-the-top language, so keep your writing simple and straightforward. Lastly, taking steps to establish your credibility. With this, there are techniques that can be used, which are use simple language, provide objective evidence, identify your sources, establish common ground by emphasizing beliefs, attitudes, and background expertise. Persuade with logic, evidence, and compiling narrative rather than trying to coerce with high-pressure tactics. And lastly, build credibility before you present your major proposal. Step 3, completing persuasive messages. Evaluate the content. Try to judge your argument objectively and try not to overestimate your credibility. You have to review your draft by an experienced colleague who knows your evidence. Next, evaluate the design. Make sure your design elements complement rather than detract from your persuasive argument. Proofread the message. Careful proofreading will help you identify any mechanical or spelling errors that will weaken your persuasive potential. Select the delivery mode. Finally, make sure your distribution methods feed your audience expectations and preferences. Lastly, we use the 3 steps of persuasive messages, which are planning, writing, and completing persuasive messages in order for you to persuade your audience in a more clearer way.
Developing persuasive business messages. There are 4 strategies for persuasive business messages. The first strategy is to frame your arguments by using the best known indirect model, the AIDA model. A stands for attention, or to engage your readers and listeners in a way that encourages them to hear about your main idea. I stands for interest, or to emphasize the relevance of your message to your audience. D stands for desire, or to help audience members embrace your idea by explaining how the change will benefit them, either personally or professionally. And A stands for action, or to suggest the action you want readers to take and phrase it in a way that emphasizes the benefits to them or to the organization they represent. The next strategy for persuasive business message is to balance emotional and logical appeal. Emotional appeal calls on audience feelings and sympathies rather than facts, figures, and rational arguments, while logical appeals calls on reasoning and evidence. There are 3 types of logical appeals. The first is analogy, where you reason specific evidence to specific evidence. The second is induction, where you work from specific evidence to a general conclusion. And the third is deduction, where you work from a generalization to a specific conclusion. To avoid against faulty logic, follow these guidelines, such as avoiding hasty generalization, avoid circular reasoning, avoid attacking an opponent, avoid oversimplifying a complex issue, avoid mistaken assumptions of cause and effect, avoid faulty analogies, and avoiding illogical support. Another strategy for a persuasive business message is to reinforce your position. Step back and look for ways to strengthen your position. Then examine your language and consider using figures of speech such as metaphors. And the last strategy for a persuasive business message is to anticipate objections. The best way to deal with audience resistance is to anticipate as many objections as you can and address them in your message before your audience can even bring them up. Common examples of persuasive business messages are persuasive requests for actions, persuasive presentations of ideas, and persuasive claims and requests for adjustments.
Hi everyone, my topic is on developing marketing and sales messages. First of all, marketing and sales use the same basic technique as other persuasive message with the added emphasis of encouraging someone to participate in a commercial transaction. There is an important difference between the two. Marketing messages help potential buyers through the purchasing process without asking them to make an immediate decision. This message is focused on such tasks as introducing the new brands to the public and encountering customers to visit websites for more information. In other words, you are just giving information to customers about your service or product. While sales messages help encouraging potential buyers to make a decision then and there. The message is to make an explicit request to buy a specific product or service. In large companies, these messages are created and delivered by professionals with a specific training in marketing, advertising, sales, or public relations. My next lesson is on 4 steps in planning marketing and sales messages. So step 1 is assessing the audience needs. Is the key to a successful marketing and sales messages. Depending on the product and the market, these needs can range from few functional considerations to a complicated mix of emotional and logical issues. For example, is FedEx and USPS. They both can ship items. FedEx has a faster and expensive shipping cost, while USPS has a slower and cheaper shipping cost. Now this really depends now on the person where do they want to ship the items. And step 2 is analyzing the competition. Nearly there is always competition with messages from other companies trying to reach the same audience. For example, when Nike plans a marketing campaign to introduce a new model shoe to current customers, the company knows they have been introduced to Adidas, New Balance, Reebok, and other shoe companies. Finding the unique message in a crowded market can be quite challenging. Step 3. Determining the key selling points by prioritizing features and benefits. Features are the aspects of an idea or product. Benefits are the advantages that readers will realize from those features. For example, is a car. Features are like the accessories, brand, model, type, and etc. Benefits is for the safety, long time use, and good quality. Step 4. Participating in purchase objections. Marketing and sales usually encounter objections, and as with persuasive business messages, the best way to handle them are to identify these objections up front and address as many as you can. The reasons are on high price, low quality, to a lack of compatibility, and existing products or a perceived risk involved with the product. Here, an example of a price problem. When promoting a home gym, you might say, it costs less than a year's worth of health. There are 4 steps in writing a conventional marketing and sales messages. Step 1 is getting the reader's attention by having an attractive headline because it will give interest and affect the person's emotions. Step 2, build interest by explaining the benefits of your product or service. Step 3, increasing desire, how it will benefit your customer by maybe showing them a demonstration, a video, test results, and etc. And step 4 is motivating action. After persuading your customer, it will be time for them to pick up the phone to place an order. And the key to having a successful call to action are making it easy and risk-free as possible.
7 ways to writing promotional messages for social media. Facilitate community building by having a Facebook page or use any communication with your audience. 2. Listen at least as much as you can. Listening is an essential for online conversation as it is for personal conversation. 3. Interact and respond to conversation within the community. This is important because you have to provide the information customers need in order to evaluate your products and services. Provide information people want by having brief answers and questions post on communities, question and answers, or it might be guides on how to use the products. 5. Identify and support your champions. Champions are people who help spread good messages about your company and its products. They will help you against detractors and help other customers to use your products. 6. Be real. 7. Interrogate conventional marketing and sales strategies at the right time and at the right places.
There are moments when you fall to the ground, but you are stronger than you feel you are now. You don't always have to speak so loud. No, just be out.